Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the people all across the world, welcome to the You Wanna Be Real podcast. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day, wonderful night, wonderful morning, whenever you're seeing this podcast. Can you guys please do me a favor and all the children across the world a favor, and please hit that like and subscribe button and comment on anything that you want to hear us talk about, anything that we might have talked about, anything that you disagree or agree with. And please, I ask one time, just be fucking respectful. If you don't agree with something we say, and you find it yourself saying, "I want to say something that's very inappropriate," you will be banned from saying it from this channel. But on another happy news, let me introduce everybody that we have on the show today. There we go. We got Dana Don't Give a Damn, Queen Sassy Ash, Intrinsic Al, and Mac the Magician. And who am I, you ask? Well, a lot of people ask that question. Some people really want to know. Like, hey, is that man really named Spaceman? Or Ruler Shaboom? Or even Batman? Is he really that? Well, I'm everything. Plus, I'm your dream husband. To a lot of women out there who say that to themselves right now, said, damn, if I could create the perfect man, it would be that motherfucker right there. But let's get into the topics today. So last week we touched on what makes a man sassy. So today we'll touch on what makes a woman masculine. But I also want to add a little twist to that too. But Mac, I will let you go first because I don't know if you have a list of what makes a woman masculine. But Mac, please indulge the audience and tell everybody what makes a woman masculine in your eyes.
I mean, it's a couple things. I think always being in the mix, always fighting, shit like that. That's masculine as hell. Uh, Foul mouth, like real crazy vulgar mouth. That's masculine as hell. Uh, shit, I mean, I could keep going. It's a lot. I look at it like things that mainly men do, or things that you identify with men. When women do that shit, it comes off masculine.
That's all you got?
Yeah, I mean, they the two biggest to me. Like it's other shit, but some of that shit is a stretch.
All right. Al, how about you, Al?
Um, like I said before, like I think that um any complete person is gonna have both masculine and feminine traits. I think that as far as what masculine will be represented in a female would be the same thing I would see as in a male. Like if you're gonna be controlling or dominating in a space, things like that. But I also say that to say I don't necessarily think that a woman who has masculine expression of traits is a bad thing. So I want to notate that first. So
Do any of you ladies have any rebuttals, any questions you want to ask?
I agree with both of you, but Mac, what you mean about the foul mouth?
I
Can you
mean that
elaborate?
I mean that real crazy like women. I mean women in general got crazy mouth, but
Oh,
I
oh,
mean
so we're
like
we're all under the same umbrella.
nah, women got crazy mouths, but it gets to a level where it's vulgar, where it's like that's not necessary. Women say disrespectful shit. Women, a woman's tongue is her sword. Like I honestly believe that shit. A woman cuts you deep with that motherfucker too. But
My mind is my sword, so you only speaking to a small majority,
I mean,
minority.
just 'cause you don't cut with the tongue don't mean you can't. That's a
Listen,
God-given ability.
Touche.
I'm guilty of doing that, but I don't feel like that that makes me masculine. I'm
Nah,
guilty
but it get
of
to a level like if a woman fuck out here pussy da 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 da, that's masculine as hell. I'm gonna be honest. Those
no.
super aggressive women, and I know I ain't trying to single it out, but with our people, it's like normal to be real aggressive. But that real aggressive, when women get real aggressive, I'm like, yo, you coming off masculine as hell. Like,
I have another question. Now, I curse like a sailor. Would you say that makes me masculine?
you know what's funny? I haven't heard you do that, but
Oh,
that's
good.
definitely masculine. And if I ever catch you doing that, I'm gonna be like, yo, Ash. I
Now
mean,
you're gonna be paying attention, but
I'm
okay.
gonna look for it now. I'm like, yo, that's crazy, Ash.
But you know what?
I
You
didn't know
know,
you. I didn't know
don't
that
know.
was you.
It's because I'm so feminine that you don't even notice my curse words.
I mean,
Mm.
Case closed.
it's a switch that could get flipped. See, this is my thing about masculine women. I think when you outside, when you in the business realm, when you lead in a household, you gonna take on and show more masculine traits. So I don't like to knock women for being masculine because it's like, yo, it's required to run shit. It's required to get shit done. But as a man, I don't want to come home to my wife and look at her like one of the guys. It's like, yo,
But
tone that shit back. I ain't your employee. Like, why you talking to me like this?
Mac and Al, do you think some men mistake an assertive woman for a masculine woman?
I think I think being assertive and innate is showing a masculine trait.
Hmm.
I think
So you
there's a
may not
difference.
be a masculine woman, but you definitely have a masculine energy when you're being assertive.
I think there's a difference between aggressiveness and assertiveness. So let's be clear on that.
So I kind of agree with like what Mac was saying. But that's also to say what I was saying. Like there are some traits that are more masculine. More assertiveness is kind of like a form of directness, and again, I think that that is a masculine trait. I think that men are expected to be direct, expected to be in control and things like that. So again, I don't think it's necessarily bad if a woman displays that trait. But I do believe that that's a masculine presenting trait.
Assertiveness is masculine. Okay, that's new.
Y'all good? Um, I don't know what was said, so I missed a little bit of the conversation. I apologize on behalf of that. But I don't really have too many things besides the cliche answer that makes a woman masculine, and I'm pretty confident you guys already covered. But what I do have to say, right, is something that makes a woman toxic, right? And I was thinking, and I was thinking, and I was thinking, and I came up with a couple things, right? And I was thinking, how do you initially spot a toxic woman? Well, a toxic woman has certain things that you need to look out for. Number one, I think a toxic woman has tinted windows on her car. Any woman who does not have factory tints and decides to go somewhere else and tint her windows, you're a toxic woman. And the reason and you know what also too? I felt like you're a fucking cheater. Never trust a woman with tinted windows on her car. It's certain levels. It's 35 to I think you go to 2% if I'm not mistaken, right? The average tint is probably 10 to 15. If you got the average tint, you in there fucking. And I don't trust you. Number two, how you can spot a toxic woman. Go look at her pictures. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, wherever the fuck you want to go. Any woman who sticks her middle finger up in multiple pictures, that's a toxic motherfucking woman right there. Now, what I will say to defend the toxic women, I have dibbled and I have dabbled in a lot of toxicity in my life. Toxic women know how to fuck, and they know how to suck. And if you want to be honest, sometimes, that's what makes them toxic because they know they present those things. Yeah, I love me a toxic woman here and there. Don't judge me. At the end of the day, I don't give a flying fuck. I'm a grown ass man. When I talk, I grab my nuts. So yeah, I love a toxic woman. Shit. If it was up to me, I'd keep one, I fuck one once a year, twice a year. I don't know. But all I'm going to say is, I do feel like a toxic woman has certain things and you can see it just off the rip. Now, Macton, I'm going to bounce back to you. What makes a woman toxic in your mind?
My number one thing is anytime you in the wrong and you get called out and now you the victim, that's toxic as hell. I had to realize, yo, get away from no crazy bitches. Any
I
woman
don't
who
know.
can
That's a
cry
lot of
on
women though,
command,
Mac. You trying to say a
and
lot of women
and
toxic?
if you said 99% of women do that, then 99% of them toxic. Anybody who can cry on command when they wrong, yo, run, nigga, run.
That's a hell of an actor right there. They might be in the wrong. Instead of working at Walmart, they need to go sign up for Paramount Films or something. Because
Man, I'm
if
talking
you can
about,
cry on cue, you're a bad motherfucker.
but every woman can do that. I've never met a woman who can't start crying out of nowhere. They can't.
Al, how about you, Al? What makes a woman toxic in your mind?
Um, what makes a person toxic is generally the inability to be accountable for the things that they do to people. Um, I think that's a toxic trait. If you act on somebody, you should be accountable for your actions. I think the inability to have empathy for anybody is another toxic trait that people exhibit. Because at one point in time, we are all weak at some moments. We are all not perfect, and so it's easy to try to be right. It's easy to belittle somebody, but if you don't understand that sometimes even men need the ability to express themselves emotionally and have safe spaces, I believe that that's a toxic thing. Um, let's see what else I would say. I think that that's the main thing for me: accountability and empathy, man. Like I really think that everything else is subjective. Also, I'll say this last one: putting your hands on somebody. I don't condone that in any shape or form. If you can't articulate yourself with your words in a calm and orderly fashion, then you are a child, and that doesn't mean anything specifically to men or women. Like that's everybody. At this day and age, you should be able to say what you have to say at a safe distance. You shouldn't have to yell. And I get that emotions get heated, so people do make mistakes, and when you do yell, that's where the accountability becomes in there. But putting your hands on anybody is a non-starter. I'm not physically fighting any woman, like period. That's over with. Like I will, and I'll say this on the podcast: call the police, because guess what? Ain't nothing beneficial coming from me in any of that direction by doing that, and I'm not going to make myself more toxic by engaging in toxic behavior. It's just my personal opinion.
Al, let me ask you a question, right? Um, how crazy would you like a woman to be over you?
Not. Like, if she can't love me healthily, then she gotta go. I don't want a crazy anything. I've had it. I've had more than enough of my experiences of crazy, and I'm cool off that.
I call it passion. You call it craziness, I see. Any woman who called my phone 17 times, I call that a woman who cares about the well-being of myself. So I
I
don't
call that
mind that
fluff.
too many times, you know.
Like you have
Especially as a
members
couple.
that call me 17 times. We grown adults. If I didn't answer the first time, I'm busy. If I didn't answer the second time, I'm still busy. If I didn't answer the 10th time, you have a problem.
Well, let her
I'll tell
have a
you what,
problem then.
when I answer that phone, it better be an emergency.
You know it won't be.
That'll be the last time we talk.
If it was an emergency, it only took 3 calls because when you didn't answer the first two, then she called the police.
I don't believe you two
Like,
niggas. I
just
don't believe you two
sometimes it's
niggas
not an
at all.
emergency.
I don't believe you two niggas at all, right?
What you mean?
Y'all gonna tell me y'all ain't never been in a relationship with a girl who called y'all multiple times back to back and y'all just order. Did y'all leave or did y'all
Oh,
just y'all stayed?
I didn't say that. I'm speaking as my age
I
now.
don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that. You like if I don't answer my phone, especially considering that my phone's always around me. If I do not answer my phone, don't call my phone 17
Could
times.
Alicia Keys call you 17 times?
No.
So she couldn't call you 17 times.
If Alicia Keys was my woman and she was calling me 17 times in one sitting, then that goes back to the crazy. Even Alicia, I don't want a crazy Alicia. I need her to be healed and healthy.
I don't believe you.
Healed
I
and
don't believe
healthy.
you at all.
Hey,
If she
listen.
call you 17
Listen,
times, you're gonna stay right with her ass.
once
Nope.
upon a time, I was looking for
Hold
fun.
on. It's an exception for some people. That's
No,
just
it's
the way
not for
life
me.
works.
Nah,
Crazy is
All right.
crazy.
Okay.
If you accept any amount of crazy, you'll accept all amounts of
Okay.
crazy. All right.
Ash and Dana,
at one.
do you guys have anything to say?
I think that being toxic for anybody is living like there's nothing to lose. That's very toxic. Sleeping around is one thing, but sleeping around and not letting everybody know you're sleeping around or sleeping around unprotected, yeah, very toxic.
I would say, as far as toxicity is concerned, I have had girlfriends that like to start stuff with their men just because, like, they want to be the aggressor in the situation. so the man can be more aggressive, and that's a turn on. And I'm like, you do realize that's toxic. So I feel like, yeah, that's something that could be toxic.
Are
All right, quick
either of
question.
y'all calling anybody 17 times?
I was going to ask
Absolutely
that.
not. I've been
Yep,
there. I've been there. I've done that
I've done
years
that.
ago. I've been there. Yes.
Can you share what your mindset was on when you did that?
Um, you need to answer this phone before I pull up.
I was probably drunk.
I I may have been sober.
Oh, that's kind of crazy if you was
I
sober.
just
If
I
you
can
was
Crazy
take
and
I can
sober
facts.
but I can take
doing that,
accountability.
cousin,
I can take
um,
accountability.
as you should. I love that.
And that same ex is probably still a friend on social media to this day.
I respect the pull up more than the 17 calls. As long as you don't pull up and just blow the
Look,
spot up. Don't pull
wait,
up while I'm at work and just
Hold
get
on. How you
ratchet and
expect to
ghetto.
pull up more than the 17 calls? She might pull up and fuck some shit up.
I just said, as long as you ain't pulling up on bullshit.
So how do
well,
you?
if she
So
called
what do
you,
you
that
think the
means
pull up is about?
If I'm not answering the phone, I say I'm at work, I'm not answering the phone, and you think I'm not really at work. I respect it more if you pulled up to my job, see me at work, and pulled off like, all right, he at work. You ain't
That's
gotta blow
still
my phone
crazy
up, and you ain't
behavior.
gotta blow up the job. You ain't gotta do none of that crazy shit. If for a moment you didn't believe me and you seen proof I was telling the truth, then leave it at that. Now you should know. Damn, I'm bugging.
I don't know. You got to do a drive by. If I know you pulled up, I'm automatically red flagging that. Like,
I'm gonna be honest. I shouldn't even know you pulled up if you
but
pulled up and seen
that
proof.
you're in a relationship where someone doesn't trust you, and that's toxic right there. Having
yeah,
no
that's what I'm
That's a
saying. That's
lot of.
crazy.
Right.
That's not necessarily trust, because you can trust somebody and lose trust. You know what I think is
And you
toxic?
still stayed?
You know what
oh,
I think is toxic? Because a relationship is about forgiving. But you know what I think is toxic? I think a cheat bag is toxic as hell. Because two wrongs don't make a right.
Well,
If
you
you
gotta
so
cheat
against
first
me
and then you don't
cheating,
gotta get your lick back.
but so if you got a problem with me cheating, why the fuck you cheat? What made you change character? That's toxic. You did that out of spite.
I give you that.
I
Are
would
we
never
good?
cheat back. I would just leave.
Are we good? Nobody else has anything to say.
I agree with Mac. When I was younger, I might have got my lick back. But maturity and evolution is amazing.
All right. So to move forward and to move on to our next topic, right? Um, spoke about toxicity and everything, so we're going to flip it, right? Do you guys think that in life, being a good person always somehow puts you in last place? Ash, I'll start with you, Ash. What's your take on that? Has being a good woman put you in last place, whether relationship, friends, any avenue you want to go with it?
um, yes. So I think there's a few things that go with that. So when you are a nice person, I don't think that you finish last if you're dealing with another nice person, but 9 times out of 10, you're not. I think that people go past putting their best foot forward, and at some point they just pretend. So if you're, let's say, a nice girl and you have someone that is a nice guy supposedly, um he's probably not a nice guy. So I think that people pretend to be this thing that they're not, and dealing with that person is like, you might deal with a guy that's like, got a whole roster, and he's like, oh, she's a nice girl, she communicates her feelings, I got her, and they can tend to take advantage of you, like, all right, let me check on this girl over here with the fat ass. And I think it's the same thing if it's a nice guy. He can go for what he thinks or deems to be, a nice girl. She might have a roster and they be feeding her pasta and lobster. And at the end of the day, she could look at him like, oh, he communicates his feelings. He's willing to take me out on dates. I got him. Let me concentrate on the dude over here that, ain't paying me no mind. But I feel like if the nice guy and the nice girl end up together, then they finish first. But I feel like if they don't and they keep ending up with these people that are just pretending to be nice, then I think that's how they turn toxic.
Let me ask you a question. Why is the example of a man always getting distracted to you is a woman with a fat ass?
I don't know. Y'all love fat asses.
We love a
Big
lot of things.
breasts.
We love
I don't
peace.
know. Y'all,
Why
everybody
can't
got
y'all
their
ever say, well,
some
that
body
woman over
part.
there look like she's peaceful? He got distracted by her.
If a man got distracted by the peaceful girl, then he's probably better off with the nice girl. They don't want the nice girl.
You don't believe no man wants the nice girl?
I believe the nice guy wants the nice girl.
Maxine, I'm coming to you. Do you remember the question?
Yeah.
All right.
There's something Ash said that got me thinking. Because I do think the nice guy finished last, nice girl finished last. Like I think it's a thing there. But now I'm starting to wonder, do the nice guy just not go for the nice girl and vice versa? Because I've definitely seen good women get drugged through the mud. I've seen good men get drugged through the mud. But normally they wasn't with the like if they was together, I don't think that would have happened. Normally I think a lot of people just pick wrong.
That's it? That's all you got to say?
I mean, that's what I'm thinking right now. Because I had some other shit I was gonna say before I heard Ash, and I'm like, damn, I mean,
Listen, I
that's
agree
really
with
true.
people pick wrong, and that's why I said I feel like people go much further than putting their best foot forward, and they pretend to be something they're not just to gain access to you. And I think that in these situations, it always boils down to intentions. And people pretend to be the nice guy or the nice girl just to get you.
But even in that though, see, a lot of people use your kindness as a weakness. Normally, the nice guy and nice girl is the kind person. Like I remember, we had a conversation before about trust. I said I don't trust right away. I think coming in blindly trusting is a nice person trait. That shit's gonna get you bad results most of the time. I mean, what they say is sucker born every day. If somebody's that trusting, you gonna look at them like, oh, I got one. I got one. I can get over on them. You being a nice person, they being a hustler. It's like I'm about to
But
use this to benefit me.
Hold on,
if
Ash,
you're
do
a
you think
nice
only nice girls
person,
get cheated
you
on?
don't look at somebody like that. Like if you're a nice person, you're like, oh, here's another nice, genuine person. You're not looking at them in that way.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
Hold on. Ash, do you think only nice girls get cheated on?
No, no, I don't think that at all.
So how do y'all come in last place if you think?
I feel like in general, we just get taken advantage of more. People take our kindness for weakness, and it doesn't necessarily have to do anything with cheating. The same way that a man can be used, a woman can be used for different things.
Let me ask you this question then, right? If you notice somebody might be taking your kindness for weakness, don't you have accountability to stop them from doing that at a certain point?
You're not always sure. Again, if they're, putting on these airs, you're not always sure. But I mean, if you recognize that, then yeah, you should exit stage left.
Dana, I'm coming to you. Dana, you got the question?
I think it's one thing to be nice, but you're nice and naive, and that is a combination for disaster. You can be neighborly, you can be compassionate, but when you're naive about the situation and you don't have the discernment, which is the accountability, then you're gonna sink. It's either sink or swim in this world.
Okay. Okay. Al, coming to you.
Um, I wanted to sound educated when I said some of this. I think that it's two things, right? So to address kind of what Mac and Ash were saying, a lot of people kind of end up with people who aren't meant for them because I don't know if you've heard of it, generally because of attachment styles, right? And there are two opposing attachment styles that almost always attract each other, right? And what generally happens is if you find somebody who doesn't trigger that, like, that basically fight or flight response in you, you think they're boring, right? You don't find them attractive because we have been programmed to basically find that toxic interaction, that thing where your body's telling you to run as what we call butterflies in your stomach, which is generally a sense that you shouldn't be in there or that you're in danger. But to go back to the topic of what we were kind of talking about, I think two things. So in my own personal experience, I do believe that there have been moments when I have had goodwill intentions and they have been misconstrued, or abused by the people that I was giving them to. But I would not say that I finished in last place because ultimately that protected me from being with terrible people. And I think that that's God looking out for me personally. Like, I think that I'm exactly where I need to be because I was avoided those situations where I probably would have given a lot to the wrong person. I also do believe that a lot of people, it kind of even talking about what the rest of you guys are talking about, like, you can be nice and you can be a good person, but it would be very immature to believe that you could be nice to everybody all the time. Like, when somebody shows you who they are, you have to take them at face value. And just because you check them on how they treat you does not make you any less of a good person. So as long as you're going to continue to be a good person to a terrible person, then it's going to keep happening, and you don't have to be on their level in order to exit that. I think that you should realize, okay, I'm a good person. I see bad traits. If you have the conversation with somebody and they don't see anything wrong with their action, then they're not the person for you. I'm not going to call anybody bad because at the end of the day, we are all just a product of our environment. Sometimes we have toxic traits. Like, I don't even consider myself all the way a good person because sometimes I do toxic shit too. Like, sometimes I have bad days and sometimes I carry that out on people. Like, you know, I wouldn't say I have ulterior motives because I try to be upfront as often and frequently as well, I guess same thing, as often as possible. But there are also moments when my past where I have done some things that have been like, okay, I was only looking for this particular outcome and that's what I was chasing. Like, I don't think that people necessarily mean to do bad. There are evil people, but most people just are trying to navigate the world. So like I said, to circle it back around, I don't think that good people finish last as long as they recognize that they shouldn't just be being good to everybody all the time.
Al, let me ask you a question, right? Um, what's most people's general opinion on you? Do you think that most people would say you're a good guy?
I'm not most people. You'd have to ask them their opinions on me. Um, if you want to be honest, a lot of people would think I'm an asshole. So I don't know if you consider assholes good people, but I don't know.
I consider you an asshole, especially with that dry ass joke you just told. But Mac
Okay,
10.
Mr. Arugula Shaboom.
But Mac 10, coming to you. Have you ever heard that you was a good guy?
You said me? You were talking to me, right? Uh, I mean, I done heard both. I think generally, I think I'm a good person because I think I was just raised that way. I get it from my pop. He got it from his mom. Like, but I also have an asshole because I know that people will use your kindness as a weakness, like I said. So I know that. So It's like I used to struggle to say no. If I got it, I'm gonna look out for my people. I force myself to say no sometimes, just to let motherfucker know, like, yeah, you ain't getting that shit off over here. Like sometimes you gotta tell a motherfucker no just to see how they respond. I'm be honest, I can't have a friend that I ain't never say no to, because I need to know, is you a friend because I'm helpful, or are you a friend because we got a bond? If you only here because I'm helping you, then you ain't really a friend. You another responsibility I gotta take care of. So I mean, I think you'll get both if you ask people about me. I done heard both.
Now let me stay right here with y'all, and I even answered this myself. Do y'all feel like in your life a woman has taken advantage of your kindness?
I mean,
Eh,
yeah, yeah. I ain't gonna say to no extremes to where I'm devastated or traumatized, but yeah, I done definitely seen a motherfucker get off on me real quick. I'm like, damn, all right, you got that. Now I know to keep my eye out for that.
I mean, did you like pay her mortgage or something, and she stopped
Hell,
answering your
nah,
calls?
ain't no extreme. Yeah, it's like you fucking with this bum ass nigga that you been fucking with, but I got a car and we all young and I got a car, so it's like I'm about to put him on the roster. Then I realized you got a whole nigga. Why the fuck I'm picking you up and take? Nah, bitch. Nah, that ain't that. You ain't gonna listen. You ain't gonna get no car, no mortgage, no none of that shit out of me. That just ain't gonna happen.
Tight as fish pussy, huh?
I listen. I personally reserve some things for my wife. Some
Oh,
things my wife can say, ain't no bitch ever had that from him, but me.
now why she gotta be a bitch? Huh?
What exes? I ain't talking about all of them, but
We gotta start
I'm
throwing respect on these women names, man. Calling them bitches is just crazy, man.
women call women bitches. How the fuck am
We
I
ain't
being
women. We
disrespectful?
ain't women though. We men. We black men at that. We gotta stop calling our black women bitches. Ho? That's another thing. But a bitch, that's a little disrespectful now.
I was about to call you out, but you know what? I'm gonna let you get it. I want to let you get it. Go ahead. You got it, King.
Have you ever been taken advantage of by a woman?
I've been exploited by people, so that's a part of that.
Did that make you turn um out to be a beast in some form or fashion towards women moving forward?
I think there was a place in time where I needed to heal to understand that it wasn't about me; it was about their problems. So now in this moment, like I don't even really stress it at all. Like I just be coming being honest. Like I'm not doing anything I don't feel like I need to do, and if you don't like that as a person, like, and I mean person, then that's just your problem. Like I'm secure in who I am. I don't think that I need to do things for people for them to show up for me. I think that anybody who knows me knows I show up like fully, like not half, not I show up fully. So if you can't show up fully for me, then that's just what that really means, that you're not a good enough person. And
Period.
yeah,
Just
so
need to say
this
that.
you're fine. Like that's how I really feel about it. So like, what I mean? If somebody doesn't show up for me, I mean there's no malice, there's no hate. I'ma just move on and move along.
Glad we all could come to an agreement. Queen Sassy Ass said, period. I was preaching to the choir. Dana's probably ready to chime in, so I'm gonna let y'all get to it. But what I will say at first is, hell yeah, I got used. Women still using me to this day. They take what they can take from me and throw me back to the streets like I ain't shit. And some points of sometimes in life, I find myself in my room crying in the middle of the night. I'm wondering, will I ever be good enough? Maybe I
How many
won't.
mortgages have you paid?
I paid a couple bills though. I'm the type of nigga that do shit like that.
Okay.
So that's me. Daycare bill, you know, phone
Yeah, I ain't
bill.
doing that. I don't. That
Tight as
sounds like you
clogged
need to take
ass cheeks. That's
accountability.
why.
You need to take accountability for your bad decision making. I'll teach you to fish. I ain't gonna fish for you.
You can't fish yourself, motherfucker. I've been
I
fishing
definitely
with
can
you.
fish. I definitely can. You haven't. You haven't. Don't be lying on my fishing skills. I'm really him.
Listen, we got more important things to talk
Are
about in
we
this
talking
conversation than your
water,
lack
or
of
are we
fucking
just
fishing.
talking metaphorically?
You know what? I was being so literal with fishing. So like,
Okay, because I'm about to say we can go on the boat tomorrow. Y'all get to work late.
We could go, but Dana, I want to get your opinion. Dana,
whew. Go
have
ahead.
you been a
My
good
fault.
woman and got taken advantage of?
Absolutely. Most men are opportunists. Let's be real.
Did that
Let's not
turn you into a
generalize.
I
beast after
almost
the?
felt triggered. I almost felt triggered.
No, just more aware and conscious of my moves.
Ash, I'm coming to you, Ash. Have you ever been a good woman and got taken advantage of?
Absolutely. Exactly like Dana said. I'm going to say some men can be opportunists. So, yeah. But I don't let that affect me. I go into each situation giving everybody a blank slate because that's what nice girls do.
So it seemed
Nice
as though
girls don't
we.
call themselves nice though.
I'm nice as fuck, okay? Nicest person ever.
Like now you
If
just
you
exaggerating.
don't get along with me, you're the problem, not me.
That's toxic. Here we go.
I'm just
Here we
joking.
go.
Just joking.
Um, I'm glad we established that everybody on here is fucking Saints and everything like that, and not the football team we talk about. Because if we was the Saints, then we would be underachievers in life, and I don't think anybody on this show is an
Or if we was the
underachiever.
Packers.
So
Exactly.
This is
I
not
just
about
want to.
sports.
Yeah, this is not about sports, and that was very immature what y'all did to throw my Packers in there. But I guess it got to be somebody on
Toxic
this
too.
podcast that's a very mature person, and I'll take that role. Um, but to move on to our next topic, because now with them comments, we've all been in a place in our life where we were single, dealing with toxic people and dealing with people who took advantage of us. So I want to ask a question, and Dane, I want to start with you, right? Why do most people confuse being single with being lonely?
Because we live in a patriarchal society and people are conditioned to believe that, which is not true.
I think personally, I'm sorry if anybody couldn't hear me out there. I think personally, when this question was first posed, I thought this got to be a question for women because I felt like there's this word out there called intimacy, and a lot of women um, in this world need their intimacy fulfilled. They need a consistent level of that, and when they're not consistently getting that, especially with being single, no matter if they're dating or not, then they feel like certain things, certain point in their life is incomplete. But then the other day, right, I'm on Apple Music, getting ready to work out, and I'm searching up one of the greatest artists to ever rap on earth, right? His name is Tupac Shakur. He had a song with Dr. Dre called California Love. And while I'm searching it, a suggestion came up, California King Bed. California King Bed is a song by Rihanna, right? And it gave me nostalgia to when I was dating this one girl who I used to go over her house, and that was her favorite song. So as I went over her house, she had a daughter, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not really the type of person that go into somebody's house and just initially try to create a bond with their child, because I don't want to get attached to something I might not be around for a long time, man. Sometimes that puts you in an emotional state of mind when you no longer can talk to something that you've grown to love. So I can remember the whole thing. I would go over there sometimes. She would ask me to fix her dollhouse and everything, and I grew you know, to like the child. I was like, this is a good little girl. The mom, she was in the kitchen cooking sometimes, and we'd sit down, we eat like a family, and it made me think, right? Um, I don't think with me being single, I don't think I'm so much lonely. I think it's so much of a purpose that I'm not fulfilling that I know I should be. Method Man said it the best. Don't nothing motivate a man better than a woman. Well, try having a wife and kids to motivate you. That gives you the ultimate purpose in life, and it makes you feel like it won't shit stop you. And I feel like it's not so much that I'm single, it's that I know I could be doing more and I know a bigger purpose is out there for me to fulfill. Clap y'all motherfucking hands. I said something that was very powerful, you know? Ash, I'm gonna come to you. Why do people confuse being single with being lonely?
I just think that society puts all these, things on you, like especially at the age that we're at now, like you should be married, you should have kids. And I think that people think if you don't have that, then you must, have a whole bunch of cats and you're unfulfilled in life. I think that they think you're incapable of finding happiness within yourself. But I'm somebody that likes to do things by myself. I like to go on dates by myself. I like to go to the movies. I like to go to restaurants. Like, I hang with my friends. I feel very fulfilled. I like to travel. I like to go out of the country, like whatever. And I think that they just have this thing of, if you don't have someone that you're intimate with, doing those things with you, then you can't possibly be happy. And I think a lot of people that think that haven't learned to be happy being alone. That's my take on
Al,
it.
Al, how about you, Al?
Um, I think there's lots of reasons. I think one is that you can be single, and you can be alone, but that doesn't make you lonely. Basically, for the reasons that Ash said, like I think that one, we as a people desire companionship, right? So I think that because everybody is so focused on self, a lot of times, and not in a way where they're focused on working on self or being complete, but focused on their own things and their own problems, that it's easy when you feel like you have nobody in your corner, when you have nobody to kind of deal with the rough parts of life. Because I think people don't feel lonely when they're happy. I don't think people feel lonely when things are going good. I think people feel lonely when they need somebody to talk to, or when they're going through something and they need somebody to like basically provide them with a level of emotional support and or intimacy. Um, and I think that at one point in time, the reason why we get it confused is because we especially in the social media age are looking for validation outside of ourselves. If we can validate who we are personally inside of ourselves, then I don't think you're ever really lonely. I think you are alone, but you can be happy just being alone. Um, and also, depends on your religious beliefs. Like for me personally, like I'm not the most religious person, but I believe that I'm never lonely because God's with me. And you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go crazy about that, but like that's just how I think about it. So even on my own, I recognize that when I'm never really on my own, I have a family that loves me, I have friends that love me, like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not desperate for anybody's validation. I'm desperate for the people who mean the most to me. So I think that's the difference in it. I'm never really lonely, but I am alone sometimes. And the times I notice it the most are when I'm at my lowest in life. So
Mac 10?
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I just think it's a lot of haters in the world. I think that lonely shit is just a jab people like to take at people. It's single people telling people you gonna be fucking lonely. I think that's also why so many people be faking this shit on Instagram and on Facebook. They not even happy in their relationships, but they post the pics, they make it look a certain way because they trying to keep up an image. Be honest, I think as humans, we all naturally are looking to build a family, build a tribe, build companionship. Nobody wants to be alone. I think that the idea of telling somebody, yo, you're gonna be lonely, you're gonna be old with cats, it just sounds like you mad about something else and you taking that on this person. Or you just don't like this person, you trying to humble them. That's what I really think about it.
I agree with Mac, and I will say that I think we also need to recognize there's a lot of people in relationships that are lonely. I think that's a
And
big
I would
thing.
have to agree with both of you. But can I just say cats are clean? and loyal. I just had to throw that out there.
I don't know about that loyal part.
Cats are
I was about
clean
to
Cats
say
and
is
loyal.
sneaky.
cats.
Cats is
Cats will
sneaky.
literally eat you
Where
if
it's
you die.
at.
Literally,
Dogs are
Cats
a
are
man's
clean
best
and
friend.
loyal.
cats will literally
I'm,
eat you if you die.
I'm gonna be honest. For the women to get a bunch of cats, if you want a relationship, don't cats ain't fucking help you. Cause most people ain't gonna trust no damn cat. If I come to your house and there's 6 cats running around this bitch, I'm not coming back to your house.
Most men who mention cats though are, and those women don't want those men. They would never even go for those men.
I'm
You
gonna be
said,
honest.
hold on,
For a
hold on,
lot
hold
of
on, hold
people,
on.
that's go
Hold on.
ahead. See?
Are you saying a man that like cats or a man that don't like cats?
Mac is speaking like he don't like cats.
I don't like
I
cats neither. So you
I
saying women
don't.
who like cats never go for men who don't like cats?
No, he's saying that, like, you know how most men say, single women will end up with 50 cats and alone. Those men are not even thought about. They're not even in the equation of that woman who owns those cats.
That's why she alone. Because it's a large percentage of
She
men
not even, yeah,
that
she not
feel
even thinking
like
about
He's
men. That's
proving
why
my
she
point.
wouldn't like
listen.
cats.
This is my thing though. It's not that you got a cat. If you got 50 fucking cats, there's a bigger problem here. Why you got so many?
Yeah, I get that.
That's
Wait,
what I'm saying. Like,
Dana, we know somebody from back in the day that had a whole bunch of cats
Put a
that lived
name on it.
near our grandma.
Yes. And she was single.
She was
She was.
alone.
She
It
was
was a lot of
alone.
cats.
Who?
And it
Who?
was a lot of cat. She was the
It
cat
was a
lady.
lot of cats.
Who you say?
You can never be
A
alone with all
lady
the
on
cats.
our grandmom's block.
Yeah, it was on our grandma's block. She had
yeah,
Y'all
a
shut
lot of
ain't
up.
enough
cats,
room for a
And she
man
was
in
a
them.
nice looking woman. Let's just make sure,
and she
because
was too.
men think like, oh, she's not
She
cute.
must
No,
have
she was
been
a
no.
nice looking woman.
She was a
Now,
nice
it's
looking.
something. It's something creepy when you got that many fucking cats
I'm
under
not
one
told
roof.
you it's creepy though, cousin.
Yeah, it
We
It's,
was a
just
it's,
gonna
little.
just
But
put
the
it on
thing is,
cats.
why
Like,
can't you be single with a dog and still want to travel, or no
I
pet
mean,
and
one cat,
want to
cool.
do?
Why you got so many?
I
I
mean,
Yeah,
just three
automatically think
pets.
witch. I automatically think she practiced witchcraft. Automatically.
what if somebody
That's
got 10
my.
dogs?
That's what I was about to say. Like, if it's 10 dogs, this might be a problem. Like, the only time
She
you
What
can
if?
have
masculine.
multiple
But what if
is if it's
she?
fish.
She's
What if
fucking
You
she's
got like
been
masculine.
told
you
that
got like
that
50
her
fish. You
vagina
got
is
that.
the voodoo? What if her
If
vagina is
she
the
got,
voodoo? I mean,
if she, if she's single,
Wait, what?
if
what if
she's
she's
single
been
with four
told that
pigs,
her vagina is, the voodoo? Her vagina is the what it is. That is what's
I'm staying
keeping
away
her.
from that too.
Mm.
I
I'm staying away
mean,
from all that.
then she wouldn't need all those have all she wouldn't have time for all those cats. I would think.
If she
I would.
got 3 pit bulls, she masculine. I sit it.
Mm.
I
Damn,
sit it.
Damn, chill, bro. Like pit
with
bulls.
the
I sit it. If she's single with 3 pit bulls, she a man. I sit it.
If she's single with
she
three
wants
pit
to
bulls,
go
she
running?
protected.
What if she wants to go running safely and she got 3 pit bulls?
That's what I said. She protected. You don't need a gun when you got three pit
Okay,
bulls.
I agree with you, Mac. She got 2 pit bulls. She masculine.
I'm
So I'm
about to,
right there
yo,
with
I'm gonna be out. 1 pit bull, you safe. What you
but you
running around with a goddamn kennel for? You better be selling
Shit.
pups.
You
That's all
you
I'm
any
not you
saying.
not
woman.
safe with one pit bull. Somebody can shoot one dog. You got
Well, then
two or
get a gun
three.
and a pit bull.
Any
Listen,
woman.
What
so
you
the
need
gun
the gun
and
for
the
if you
pit
got
bull
two pit
doesn't make
bulls?
her masculine. The
listen.
gun and
You
the pit bull don't make her masculine.
And she
John
got
Wick, you
tents on
said
her car. Definitely.
what kind of gun? Because if it's like a 22 or something, all
If
right.
it's a
But if she got a Glock
non-registered,
40 with a
if
ladder in
she
it,
got
that is a
two
man.
of those pit bulls,
With a pink gun.
I don't give a fuck what color the gun is. I say what kind of gun is. If she got a pink Desert Eagle, she's still masculine.
I love pit bulls. They're the sweetest dogs ever.
Thank you, cousin.
You toxic. Pitbull the sweetest dog, really?
Yes.
It's how you train those dogs. Dogs
And
gotta
don't
be
cut their
trained.
ears either.
I
Let their
had
ears be
pitbulls.
floppy.
I had pit bulls. Ain't nothing sweet about them
I had my
motherfuckers.
pit bull on
I
hand
grew up around
signals.
multiple
Did
pit
you take them to
bulls.
get
Hand
trained,
signals.
or
I
did you
had
train
a
them
pit
yourself?
bull named Juicy.
I had one named Brody. I had a boy.
Mine was a girl.
I had a
Sweetest
boy
dog
and girl,
ever.
and wasn't none of them sweet. The girl was actually more vicious than the boy was.
You
I'm
know
I
about
what?
to
I
almost
say,
bit
don't
Mac one
know.
day.
Like she was sweet to me, but she would attack
gonna
other
take me out of
dogs.
here. Gonna
But
get me out of here.
that
I bet
doesn't make
somebody dog I lose one time. They say don't run. Man, you a goddamn fool. The
All right,
fuck?
let's bring this
Get
conversation
yours.
back in. Enough with
okay.
dogs and cats and rattlesnakes and all that other shit.
And a woman
I
with a
think a
snake is
woman.
masculine.
Hold on. I think a wholesome woman, a
No,
good
I
woman,
think
just
they
need to
be
get herself a
freaky.
fish tank. That's all I think. Just get yourself a fucking fish tank, and that's the only animal you need. Lead the big dogs up to the big dog. Now to move on to our next topic, right? This should be controversial. Who do I want to start with? Dana don't give a damn. That's what I want to ask first. Dana, would you mind doing me the courtesy of answering this question first, please? And then I'll come to another controversial person, aka Mac 10. Mac the Magician. So get ready.
I'm ready.
Dana, why do some motherfuckers cheat?
Because they can get away with it.